Rob, you just saw a game called Apex Legends, which is another Battle Royale game, but it is by a studio that we love.
Right. Titanfall 2 is one of my favorite games of all time.
So Respawn is responsible for a new Battle Royale game. What do you think?
Well, it's definitely not what I wanted from Respawn in a way. I had to kind of shake off those feelings. But by the end of my play session, I played for about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours of this game. I came around to liking it. I'm actually not a big fan of Battle Royale.
Do you play Blackout or Fortnite or?
I've played them all. I've just fallen off of all of them. I prefer Titanfall 2 as far as quick matches, just kind of more clear cut expectations, I guess you could say. But that being said, what's here is
what is it?
It's team based. So there are 20 teams of 3, and it's extremely squad based. The other thing about this is that within your team, you pick in the beginning. I showed characters. There's 8 characters that all have abilities, right? A passive ability, your standard tactical ability, which a lot of them carry over from Titanfall 2. So it's like phase dashing is its own kind of siphoning off into a character.
Is this in the Titanfall 2 universe?
It is. It's not a sequel to Titanfall 2. They said 30 years later as, I guess, a time frame. But that being said, I find it kind of bizarre just to even say that, because it doesn't necessarily look and feel like that hardcore grit of sci-fi that was in Titanfall 2. You know what I mean? There's a lot of colors. There's a lot of, I guess you'd call it, whimsical style to the characters.
Titanfall 2 had Titanfall and Titanfall 2 had a lot of containerized houses and gritty backwater kind of design. So you're saying this feels a little bit different?
Yeah, a little cartoonish.
Listen, I've been training all day, so it's about time that, we do some fighting.
There's 2 things actually you also had mentioned that seem very different between this and Titanfall 2, which is, one of them you might notice right away, but there's no wall running.
Yeah, there's no wall running, and there's no Titans.
No Titans.
Yeah, which is weird. The Titan thing, no Titans is kind of hard to defend, I feel like. Granted, I didn't ask them about it, but we did ask about why wall running, something that I loved in that game, in Titanfall 2, a really great way of cheating death, right? Here, they said that in their testing of this game and this genre, in order to preserve the tactical elements of a team, wall running they said made it so messy. They were basically explaining that it kept separating people away from each other, and it was harder to follow another teammate. So that's the other thing about this game that I want to talk about, that I find that it innovates the genre and arguably innovates on team play in general, is that it's got this really easy to use, fantastic ping system. So you'll see it in a few occasions. We're playing on PC, so the right third mouse button, the scroll, you click it and you can just ping and use it in a variety of ways. I can ping ammo, weapons, say, hey, there's an EVA shotgun here. Hey, here's ammo for heavy weapons. Here's a scope. Even further, you can go into your own menu, your inventory, and click anything there and be like, hey, I don't have a scope on my sniper rifle. Hey, I need more ammo of this type.
I need light ammo.
Light ammo here.
I say we move this way.
And there's just further stuff. Just like Battlefield, you can see enemies, you ping them, and you're essentially spotting enemies really quickly.
Enemy over there.
And honestly, there are some matches where I had devs chatting with me, and then there were some where I didn't have any chat going at all. Those instances where I didn't have a mic, it totally worked well, and we still kind of orchestrated as a strong team using that system, and it's so easy to use. I was really blown away by that.
So it has really good sort of non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Respawn's known for taking mechanics that we take for granted and making them really good. For example, they originally put Titans in Titanfall and let you eject from them just to make your battles longer.
Yeah.
It wasn't just eject for the sake of eject. It was, here's how you actually have more fun.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like nonverbal is one way. Are there other ways you feel like this got the Respawn touch?
Yeah, totally. Another thing would be just like most battle royales, you can go down, right, and then get a revive. That's here as well. But the additional thing is that, and this happened once or twice. It was really crazy, where both my teammates were down, and I actually like got the upper hand and eliminated the whole squad that we were up against. I revived one of them, but the other guy was like permanently dead. You can pick up his banner and go to a respawn station, and he can come back into the game. So it's pretty cool. So there's a sense of like longevity with play, and arguably even time to kill is felt way longer than any other Battle Royale.
So you might actually have time to, say, disengage or get away or maybe even turn around on somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Or like just, it's not necessarily that you're going to get killed immediately, so you can kind of take more risks in a way. I found myself like just saying screw it, and I'm gonna see if I can get the upper hand in this situation. It was really interesting how, so like right here, that's an LMG. That guy took so long to go down, and he's still not even dead yet. He's just, he's crouching. And when you're crouched, you can also throw up a shield, a limited amount of shield that you can throw up to defend yourself and keep alive, right, before you go permanently down.
There were some abilities too. So like, get into abilities a bit.
Yeah.
I think I saw some footage of yours where you were phase shifting and doing some of the very classic things in Titanfall.
Right. There's a handful of the tactical abilities from Titanfall 2 that have transitioned over. So the phase shifting is one, and that's her. It operates on a cooldown. That's her tactical ability. She can phase, go into the void, right? And then her ultimate is essentially portal, where you can establish a intro portal and then like another end location, right, to spit out to. That seemed really tricky to use, but again, that's kind of like, I want to say the end game is getting a really great grip and understanding of all these abilities and working with your team. So right here, I'm actually playing as the Lifeline, which is like the medic. She has a drone that will heal at me and anyone on my team. And then her ultimate is a care package that comes down and will have some high level gear, which was pretty cool. Another one that was like from Titanfall 2 was his name was Mirage, and he has the hologram. His ability is like create a hologram, and then his ultimate is basically spawn like, I want to say like half a dozen holograms of himself.
Dudes to the rescue.
Patching myself up.
The other thing here is you see that high level gear there, the armor, it's an executioner, that's level 4 gear. Level 4 gear has a perk, and this perk refills my shield if I perform an execution. So that's pretty neat too. You have some like really interesting gear that you can pick up.
So overall, I don't know, is this going to tie you over until Titanfall 3, whenever that is, or like what's the big hook on this game? How do you feel overall about another Battle Royale game entering? I mean, we love Respawn.
Yeah.
Is this a game that you see having a long tail?
Yeah, I kind of, that's where I kind of get conflicted, because on one hand, I think it feels really great. You look at something like PUBG, right, that had kind of an arguably shaky launch as it's not perfect. This game is super polished. We know Respawn can do a shooter really well. It feels just like that. Menu and UI, I think, is top notch. You could argue that like Blackout from Call of Duty, that menu was kind of tedious. Here was it gets right down to the core of like just accessibility, and entry level is just like so quick. Where like if you were noticing there were some X's on ammo types, it just flat out says, hey, you got an alternator and an LMG. This ammo, this scope won't work for them. Don't pick it up. So you like understand like the menu so much easier. And as someone who's also really familiar with Titanfall, these are all the same weapons from Titanfall. So that's very approachable, because that's part of, I think, the learning curve with a lot of these BR games is like knowing what you're picking up. And here it's very quick. So that being said, I think something that will maybe result in my fall off is, so it's free to play. It's the cosmetics. All of the progression in this game is cosmetic based in a way. Granted, you can get everything naturally in game. It'll obviously take more time with their currency system. So, there is no pay to win, but there's just something about the loot and the cosmetics that just doesn't do it for me. I think it kind of dials back into that whimsical, like colorful style choices that like I don't have any attachment to. And that's kind of the only thing going, is like looking cool, having a cool looking gun. That's more or less the progression, because you're kind of given everything up front. Ultimately though, this game is really fun, and I had a really great time. And I think I think playing with friends will do it for me. As far as it'll get me playing, but again, how long for is debatable, I guess.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thank
when
you.
is Apex Legends out?
It's out, which is crazy to think that they've had this, in the bag for 2 years. Since 2017, when like PUBG was like getting hot, is when they took inspiration and wanted to do something of their own. But yeah, 2 years this has been in the making. I'm fascinated at how it hasn't been leaked or anything like that.
Platforms.
Xbox One, PC, and PS4.
Well, awesome. You heard it here, Apex Legends. It's a Battle Royale game from Respawn in the Titanfall universe, and it's out now.
Yeah,
Thanks, Rob.
thank you.
Reloading. Patching myself up.
Nice. Good kill. Very nice.